Morant meets a kid who saved for a year to see him, then finds out he was hit by a car before the game. Before we get into the story, comment below where in the world you are watching from today, and if you like this story, don't forget to subscribe. Morant was tired but focused. The team had a big game coming up, and the pregame routines were all falling into place. Music in his ears, sneakers laced tight, and the warm-up shots falling clean. But before he stepped into the tunnel that led to the court, his assistant tapped him on the shoulder and handed him a letter. "Fan mail," the assistant said. "This one's different. Thought you'd want to read it." Looked at the envelope. No name on the outside, just blocky handwriting and smudged ink. He stuck it in his jacket pocket without thinking much of it, planning to read it later. Later turned out to be the bus ride back from practice. The guys were joking in the back, some half asleep, but pulled out the letter, unfolded it, and started reading. "Dear Morant," it began, "my name is Eli, I'm 12 years old, and I live in Memphis. I've been saving up all year just to see you play in person. My mom works all day and my dad left a while ago, but I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I just wanted to say you helped me get through a lot." Kept reading. "You once said, when they count me out, I count myself in. I put that on my notebook and I look at it every day before school. I started playing ball, even though I'm short and not fast. Doesn't matter. I feel like I'm flying when I play. You make me feel like it's okay to try." It wasn't a long letter, maybe 3 paragraphs total. But it hit like a punch. It didn't ask for anything. No shoes, no jersey. Just a thank you, wrapped in a kid's dream. He reread it twice, then handed it to his assistant without saying much. "Find this kid," he said. "I want him at the game Saturday. Front row. Get him some signed kicks too." The assistant nodded and got to work. Saturday came fast. The court was packed. Was locked in during warm-ups, but his eyes kept scanning the seats near the tunnel. A seat was left open in the front row. Next to it was a box with the signed sneakers inside. The plan was simple. Would give Eli the shoes after the game, bring him into the locker room, make his whole year. Maybe more. Except the seat stayed empty. By halftime, felt something was off. No kid, no sign, no wide-eyed stare. He shook it off and dropped 28 points in 3 quarters. The team won, fans cheered, reporters waited for quotes. But didn't go straight to the press conference. He walked to the side tunnel and asked the PR rep, "Any update on the kid? Eli?" The rep's face changed. A beat of hesitation. Then a phone was pulled out, screen tapped, and shown to "Got this during the second quarter," the rep said. "Didn't want to distract you during the game." The screen showed a message, "Boy named Eli Sampson, on his way to the game, struck by vehicle crossing the street outside FedEx Forum. Taken to County General. Critical condition." Didn't say anything. He took the shoes out of the box, gripped them tight, and left the building without talking to reporters. No shower. No change of clothes. He just grabbed his hoodie and drove. The hospital was quiet when he arrived. Fluorescent lights buzzed above a hallway that smelled like bleach and old coffee. Didn't know where to go, so he asked the lady at the front desk. "Eli Sampson," he said. "Is he okay?" She looked at him, recognized him instantly, then looked down at her screen. Her mouth tensed before she spoke. "I'm sorry. He passed earlier this evening. He never woke up." Stood still. He felt like he'd just taken a charge to the chest. His mind searched for words, but nothing came. "His mother's in the waiting room if you'd like to." Before the woman could finish, a woman came walking down the hall. Her eyes were red. Her hands were shaking. She wore a janitor uniform and held a folded jacket in her arms. She looked at "You're she said softly. He was trying to surprise you. He said he didn't want you to know he was coming. Said he bought the ticket himself." Nodded, still holding the shoes. I'm sorry, he said. I should have come sooner. I didn't know. She looked at the shoes. Those were for him? He offered them to her. She took them with trembling hands, then opened the folded jacket. Inside was a cheap ticket, crumpled but whole, and a handmade sign made from cardboard that said, "You jump, I fly." The air in the hallway got heavy. No cameras. No noise. Just two people standing with a pair of shoes and a dream that didn't get to finish. He believed in you more than anybody, the mother said. When kids laughed at him, he just said, Ja was laughed at too. Look where he is now. You gave him hope. You gave him something bigger than all this. Ja looked at the sign again. He swallowed hard. I'll make sure he's never forgotten, he said. He stayed in that hallway for nearly an hour. No press. No spotlight. Just a quiet promise to a kid he never met. That night, Ja didn't sleep. He sat in his car for a long time. Then he pulled out his phone, opened a new note, and wrote 3 words. You Jump Foundation. It was the start of something new. But at that moment, it was just a way to cope. A way to honor a kid who believed so much, it made a star feel human again. Ja sat in the locker room the next day, surrounded by noise but not really hearing any of it. Teammates laughed, trainers shouted reminders, but it all faded into a low murmur in his mind. He stared at his locker, the cardboard sign now folded and placed next to the crumpled ticket stub. His custom shoes, now just a symbol, remained in the box on the top shelf. He hadn't slept. Couldn't. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the boy's smile from the letter, imagined what it would have looked like in person. That kind of joy, the innocent kind, was rare. And now it was gone. His coach walked by, paused, then doubled back. You good, Ja? I need to sit out the next game. That caught the coach off guard. Injury? Ja shook his head. Mental. The coach studied him for a second, then nodded. Take the time. We've got your back. No one in the media got a statement. Speculations ran wild. Ja's name was trending again, with all kinds of theories thrown around. But none of it mattered. The court suddenly felt hollow. The applause, empty. The team flew out to their next road game. Ja stayed behind in Memphis. He didn't go out, didn't post, didn't even answer calls beyond family. He needed something else. Not fame, not the game. Something that felt real again. That night, he drove through South Memphis. Not a planned stop, just instinct. He passed a dimly lit park and spotted a cracked half-court lit by a single flickering streetlight. Kids were out there shooting with a half-inflated ball. Ja pulled over. He got out, hoodie up, and walked toward them. No security. No entourage. Just him. At first, no one noticed. Then one of the older kids paused mid-dribble and squinted. Yo, that Ja? Another kid dropped the ball. Nah, wait, yo, it is. Ja didn't say a word. Just nodded, grabbed the ball, and stepped onto the court. No cameras. No interviews. Just a quiet game of pickup that turned into something bigger. He played like it was therapy. Crossovers, no-look passes, reverse layups, but no flair. No ego. Just ball. After the game, he sat on the sidewalk with a kid who couldn't have been older than 11. Dirt on his jeans, shoes worn down to the soles. You good at this? Ja asked. The kid smiled. I try. I'm short though. You know what a kid named Eli told me? Ja said, voice lower now. Doesn't matter how tall you are. You just gotta believe you can fly. The kid tilted his head. Who's Eli? A kid who saved all year just to see me play. Ja paused. He never made it. The kid didn't know what to say. Ja didn't expect him to. Sometimes silence was enough. Later that night, Ja sat in his living room and finally opened the Note app again. He stared at the 3 words he had typed, "You Jump Foundation." He started outlining an idea. A program that gave underprivileged kids free access to NBA games. Not just tickets, rides, food, courtside experiences, meet and greets. All funded by him. He called his manager the next morning. "I'm serious," Ja said. "I'm not doing this for headlines. I just want kids who are like Eli to feel seen." The manager agreed to start organizing the logistics. No press. No promo campaigns yet. Just the groundwork. By afternoon, Ja stopped by Eli's middle school. He didn't alert the school ahead of time. Just showed up with his hood up and a pair of signed shoes tucked under his arm. A teacher recognized him and led him to the small gym. It was empty. The floor creaked with every step. There was a photo of Eli taped to the wall near the bleachers, part of a memorial. A candle, some flowers, a couple of notes written in kid handwriting. One read, "Eli, thanks for always believing I could play too." Ja stood in front of it and placed the shoes under the photo. He would have worn them out in a week, a voice said behind him. It was Eli's mom. She had been invited to the school to see the memorial. She looked tired, like grief had aged her overnight. "He deserved better," she added. "I should have met him sooner," Ja replied. She shook her head. "You showed up. That's more than most." They sat on the bleachers, silence filling the gym. "I used to tell him dreams are free," she said. "But he believed they came with effort too. That's why he saved. That's why he never stopped talking about you." Ja nodded. "I'm going to start something in his name. Not for clout. Not for PR. Just for kids like him." She smiled faintly. "He'd love that. He really would." As Ja left the gym, he looked back at the photo. A grainy shot of a boy with big eyes and a crooked smile holding a basketball. That night, Ja went live on Instagram for the first time in weeks. No flashy background, just him sitting on the floor of his room. "I met a kid named Eli," he began. Or, "I almost did." He didn't get emotional. He didn't need to. His voice was steady, calm, and every word hit. He saved lunch money for almost a year just to come to one game. Just to see me. He got hit by a car right before he could walk through the doors. I never got to meet him. But his letter changed something in me. He paused, looking directly at the camera. "So I'm starting something called the You Jump Foundation. It's gonna help kids who don't have much, but got big dreams. Just like Eli." The live ended without a flashy outro. Just a quiet nod and the image of a man trying to turn pain into purpose. The next day, the internet exploded. But Ja didn't read any of it. He was already back at that half-court in South Memphis, ball in hand, sneakers laced, waiting for another kid to believe they could fly. Ja returned to practice after a week away. No interviews, no explanations, just walked into the facility like it was any other morning. His teammates noticed the shift. Less chatter, less flash. More focus. No one asked questions. They knew something had changed. Coach gave him a nod as he entered the gym. Not a word. Just acknowledgement. Ja went straight to the court, warmed up alone, headphones in, hoodie on. Every shot hit the net clean. No celebration. No dancing. Just rhythm. Representatives breath in, release, follow through. Again. After practice, he pulled his assistant aside. "We got a list of kids yet?" he asked. "For what?" "The foundation. I want the first ones in by next week." The assistant nodded. "Yeah, we've got a few schools already in touch. We can start with a small group, maybe 10 kids." "Make it 20, Ja said. Eli would have brought his whole crew if he could. Later that afternoon, Ja walked into the team's media room and sat down in front of a mic without being asked. The PR staff scrambled, not expecting it. Cameras turned on, reporters perked up. "I've got something to say," Ja began. "And this ain't about the game." He told the room about Eli. The letter. The ticket. The accident. The shoes he never got to hand over. He didn't get emotional, just honest. His voice didn't shake, but it was different, lower, steadier, like every word came from a place that mattered more than stats or contracts. "I ain't saying this to look good," Ja said. "I'm saying it because that kid changed something in me. And maybe it's time I start giving back in ways that matter off the court too." After the press left, Ja stayed in the room alone for a while. He looked around at the empty chairs and wondered how many other stories never got told. How many other kids were holding tickets and dreams with no one listening? That weekend, the first U Jump Foundation event took place. No big arena. No lights. Just a clean gym on the north side of Memphis, with 20 kids wearing new sneakers and holding tickets to the upcoming game. Ja showed up without warning. Walked through the gym doors with a duffel bag full of gear and a quiet smile. The kids lost it. "Yo, it's really him," one yelled, practically dropping the ball mid-dribble. Ja didn't say much at first. Just joined the pickup game, passed the rock, gave high fives. It wasn't a show. It was real. After the game, he sat all the kids down at half court. "I used to be just like y'all," he said. "I didn't come from much. But someone believed in me. And when you've got that, you can jump higher than anybody expects." A little boy raised his hand. "You really gonna take us to a game?" Ja smiled. "Not just take you. I'ma make sure you feel like you belong there." One of the moms approached afterward, eyes filled with tears. She told Ja her son hadn't smiled like that in months. "You gave him something to look forward to," she said. "More than a game. Hope." That night, Ja walked into his house and tossed his gym bag aside. Sat on the edge of his bed and opened his nightstand drawer. Inside was the folded sign, "You Jump, I Fly," and Eli's ticket stub. He took out the stub, turned it over, and wrote the date of the next home game on the back. Then added a name, Eli. The following week, Ja suited up for his first game back. Fans roared. Cameras followed him through the tunnel. But his focus stayed sharp. On his shoes, written in black marker across both heels. "You Jump" on the left. "I Fly" on the right. He didn't tell anyone. Didn't post it. Just walked onto the court and let his game speak. The first quarter, he moved differently. Not flashier, sharper. Every drive meant something. Every pass hit with intent. He wasn't just playing, he was carrying something. By the fourth quarter, Ja had 40 points. The arena buzzed, but he barely celebrated. He sank 2 more threes and hit a dagger floater in the final minute. When the buzzer sounded, he didn't wave to the crowd or throw his jersey. He walked straight to the tunnel, past the cameras, and into the locker room. Reporters swarmed, asking what sparked the performance. He answered only once. That game was for Eli. After showering, Ja visited the box suite where the 20 U Jump Foundation kids had watched the game. Their eyes lit up when he entered. They ran to him, shouting stats, favorite plays, asking for autographs. He knelt down next to a quiet kid in the back row, who clutched his ticket tightly. "You good?" Ja asked. The boy nodded. "I never thought I'd see something like this. It felt like a dream." Ja reached into his pocket and handed him a wristband. "One with "You Jump, I Fly" printed in silver. "You keep that," Ja said. "You ever feel small, look at that and remember, you ain't alone." The boy didn't say anything. Just nodded and held the wristband like it was gold. On the way home, Ja sat in silence. No music. No calls. Just city lights flickering through the window. He thought about all the moments leading up to this. The letter. The hospital hallway. The cracked court in South Memphis. Eli's mother's voice in that empty gym. Every one of those moments stitched something into him that wasn't there before. Something heavier, but stronger. He pulled into his driveway and sat in the car a while longer. Then he grabbed his phone and opened the foundation's email inbox. Hundreds of messages. Some from kids. Some from parents. Some from coaches. All telling him about others like Eli. Others who were saving, hoping, dreaming. Waiting. He didn't feel overwhelmed. He felt responsible. This wasn't charity. It was something deeper. Something sacred. The chance to be the person he once needed. The person Eli believed he already was. He scrolled to one email at the bottom, dated the day before the accident. It was from Eli's school counselor. She had helped him write the letter. The last line read, "Eli told me, even if he never writes back, I just want him to know he helped me try." Ja closed the phone and whispered, "You did more than try." It was game day again, but this one felt different. Ja sat in front of his locker, lacing up the same pair of sneakers with "You jump" on the left and "I fly" on the right. The ritual was the same, but his mind was elsewhere. The team had been on a winning streak since his return, but what mattered most to him wasn't the scoreboard anymore, it was the kids watching from the stands who'd never dreamed they'd be there. The foundation had already expanded. Dozens of schools had reached out. Hundreds of messages flooded in. They had more requests than seats, but Ja didn't let the staff say no. He paid for more. Upgraded tickets. Made room. Tonight, Eli's school was coming. Ja had made sure they got the best view in the house. As the team warmed up, he glanced at the seats behind the scorer's table. A group of middle schoolers, all in matching shirts that read "I fly," waved and held up hand-drawn signs. One of them had Eli's cardboard design, almost identical to the original. Ja locked eyes with it, nodded once, then went back to drills. The first quarter was slow. His shots weren't falling, but he didn't panic. He kept moving, kept looking for moments to pass, to make the right play. It wasn't about putting on a show, it was about playing with purpose. At halftime, the team was down by 10. The locker room was quiet. No yelling. Just silence and breath. Coach walked over to Ja and pulled him aside. "You good?" Ja nodded. "I'm just thinking." Coach gave him a look. "Don't think too much. Just play. That's when you're most dangerous." Ja cracked a small smile. "I got something in the tank. Trust me." The third quarter started, and he caught fire. A quick crossover, a pull-up three, then a steal and transition dunk. The arena lit up. He didn't celebrate. Just pointed once to the crowd, to the kids, and kept walking. By the fourth quarter, the game was tight. 2-point difference. Time was bleeding off the clock. Ja took the ball at the top of the key with 12 seconds left. He could hear the roar of the crowd, but it was muted in his head. All he saw was the rim. All he heard was the echo of a kid's voice from a letter, "You helped me try." He jab-stepped, pulled up, and drained the three. The place erupted. Final score, 113-112. After the buzzer, Ja didn't stay for post-game interviews. He waved to the crowd, took off his shoes, and walked to the courtside row where Eli's classmates sat. "Y'all ever seen a shot like that before?" he asked. The kids shook their heads, wide-eyed. "Good," Ja said, handing his sneakers to the boy holding the sign. "Then you'll remember it forever." He left the court barefoot, jersey drenched in sweat, heart full. In the tunnel, a man waited by the exit. Middle-aged, worn face, hands in his pockets. Ja stopped when he saw him. "You Eli's dad?" he asked. The man nodded slowly. "Didn't think you'd recognize me." "I've seen his photo every day for the past few weeks," Ja said. "I'd know those eyes anywhere." The man exhaled. "I wasn't around. Not much of a father. But I came tonight. I had to see what made my son believe so hard." Ja leaned against the wall, quiet for a moment. He didn't need much, Ja said. Just someone to show him he mattered. The man looked down, then back up. I'm trying to be better now. For his mom. For me. I know I can't fix the past, but I wanted to thank you. You gave him something I couldn't. You can still give something, Ja replied. Come to the next event. Talk to the other dads. Be part of this. The man's voice cracked. You sure I'm the one to do that? Ja looked him dead in the eye. If he could believe in me without ever meeting me, then I can believe in you. The next morning, Ja held a small event at a rec center in the neighborhood where Eli grew up. It wasn't flashy, just a room full of folding chairs, some basketballs, and a whiteboard with "You Jump" written in bold across it. Dozens of kids showed up. So did a few parents. Coaches. Volunteers. Even a couple of former players from the area who'd gone overseas. Ja stood at the front and spoke plainly. This ain't about turning you into pros, he said. It's about showing you that somebody sees you. That you matter. Whether you hoop or not. You're worth showing up for. He told them about Eli. Not the accident. Not the tragedy. Just a boy. The letter. The dream. When he finished, he invited the kids to shoot around. Some were shy. Others took off sprinting. One boy approached him afterward. My name's Jordan, the kid said. I used to watch you on YouTube every night. My brother said I'd never be like you 'cause we don't got money for gear. Ja knelt to his level. You don't need gear to fly, he said. You just need the courage to jump. He handed Jordan a bag with new sneakers and a ball. That evening, Ja sat on his porch. The sun was setting over the neighborhood, casting gold over the rooftops. His phone buzzed with a notification. You Jump Foundation receives national nomination for Youth Impact. He didn't react. Just put the phone face down. Inside, on the wall near the stairs, was a newly framed photo. Eli's cardboard sign, preserved behind glass. Next to it, Ja had written, not just a fan. A spark. He watched the sky change colors and thought about what was next. He wasn't finished. Not by a long shot. The next season started with more eyes on Ja Morant than ever before, not just because of what he did on the court, but because of what he had built off of it. The You Jump Foundation wasn't just an idea anymore. It was real. Operational. Changing lives. Every home game, new kids from struggling schools sat courtside with VIP passes. Some came from shelters, some from single-parent homes, others from neighborhoods so rough that a night like this felt like fantasy. But Ja made it normal. Made them feel like they belonged. Before each game, he'd glance at the seats where they sat. Not to impress them, but to remind himself of who he was playing for. This game was no different. The stadium buzzed. His name echoed through the speakers. He jogged onto the court with calm intensity, wearing a new pair of custom sneakers, again with You Jump and I Fly stitched on the sides. He played hard. Efficient. Focused. No highlight hunting. Just clean basketball. They were facing a top team, and the playoff race was tight. By the fourth quarter, the score was tied. 30 seconds on the clock. Ja had the ball. Fans were on their feet. But his eyes were locked on the rim, just like they were the last time he hit a game winner. He dribbled down the clock, shook his defender, pulled up. Swish. The arena exploded. As his teammates mobbed him, Ja broke free and walked toward the courtside row of You Jump kids. He didn't say a word, just pointed at them and nodded. Then turned and walked off the court. In the locker room, reporters waited. Microphones in his face. One asked, "What drives you in moments like that?" Ja paused, towel around his neck, jersey untucked. "A kid named Eli," he said. "He never got to see me play. But he helped me remember why I play." After the interviews, Ja changed quickly. There was somewhere he needed to be. Outside the arena, a van waited. Inside were volunteers, staff from the foundation, and Eli's mom. She had become part of the movement, speaking at events, meeting families, helping organize outreach. She wore a U-Jump hoodie and carried a folded paper in her hand. "You ready?" she asked. Ja nodded. "Let's go." They drove 10 minutes across town, pulled into a school parking lot, and stepped out under a dark sky lit by street lamps. Eli's old school had converted the small gym into a permanent community court, funded entirely by the foundation. Tonight was the dedication. Dozens of families were already gathered. Teachers, neighbors, former classmates. A banner hung across the entrance. The Eli Sampson Court, where dreams take flight. Ja stood at center court, surrounded by kids holding basketballs and wearing the foundation's shirts. A podium had been set up, but he ignored it. He just started talking. "Eli saved money for a year to see me play. He didn't ask for anything. He just wanted to show up. That's the kind of heart that changes people." He turned to Eli's mom, who was quietly crying near the wall. "Tonight, we make sure his dream lives. Not just in stories. In action." The crowd clapped. Some wiped tears. Others nodded in silence. Then Ja picked up a ball and handed it to a small boy standing nearby. "Your shot." The kid dribbled once, stepped to the line, and fired. Swish. The place erupted. After the crowd cleared out, Ja stayed behind. Lights dimmed, everyone gone except for him and Eli's mom. She approached him slowly. "I wanted to give you this," she said, handing him the folded paper. "Eli's teacher found it in his desk last week." Ja opened it. It was a drawing. Crayon lines. A stick figure of Ja dunking. A crowd. And a small boy holding a sign that said, "You jump, I fly." Underneath it, Eli had written, "One day, I'll tell him thank you in person." Ja stared at it for a long time. Then folded it carefully and put it in his jacket. "You already did," he whispered. The next morning, Ja returned to his routine, practice, media, meetings. But everything felt lighter. He wasn't haunted anymore. He was honoring. The team pushed through the playoffs. Every home game, Ja dropped numbers, but never let the show outshine the meaning. Kids from the foundation sat behind the bench every night. The shoes kept changing designs, but the message stayed the same. They reached the conference finals. First time in years. The city buzzed with energy. Before the first game, Ja stood in the tunnel, headphones off, breathing steady. A ball boy ran over. "There's a letter for you," he said. From one of the kids. Ja opened it. This one was from a girl named Tasha. She wrote, "I used to think no one cared about people like me. Then you came to my school and told me I could jump, too. Now I believe you." He smiled. As he walked onto the court, cameras flashed. Fans cheered. But none of that moved him as much as the memory of a quiet hallway and a boy who never got to see a game. That was the night he dropped 53. After the win, reporters asked if he thought he was peaking. Ja shrugged. "Nah," he said. "I'm just getting started." Years later, after the championship banners were hung, after the MVP trophies were added to the shelf, Ja sat in his foundation's new youth center. A wall was covered in framed letters. Drawings. Shoes. One display stood in the center. Eli's sign. His photo. The ticket stub. Above it, a quote Ja had chosen himself. "The ones we lose don't leave us. They lead us." He walked through the gym, watching kids shoot. Laugh. Try. Fail. Try again. And every time one of them jumped for the rim, no matter how high or how low, he smiled. Because someone else was flying with them.